Hey, happy?
The full spoilers for chapter 1113 are out now. We get news about Vegapunk's message. We get the fights. We got more fights between the Gorosei and the Straw Hat Pirates. And we get an unlikely hero returning into the One Piece manga after a long hiatus. What's up, everybody? My name is Slim, and welcome to my channel. There's a lot of good stuff going on in this chapter, so I'm going to be going over a spoiler for this as fast as I can. But before that, if you do like my content and you're new to my channel, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment what you're most hyped for. Let's go ahead and go into this chapter. Chapter 1113, titled Stalemate. We get a color spread in this chapter, and it has a sentence in this cover spread. It says, "The king is a fighting piece." Nico Robin is playing chess, and all chess pieces in the chessboard are the rest of the Straw Hat crew. We get the pawns. Chopper, 7 different choppers wearing Knights armors. Rocks, Franky and Jinbe. Franky is wearing a tower custom, and Jinbe is wearing a Knight's armor. And he is on top of a tower. Knights, Zoro and Sanji, both are riding horses and wearing Knight's armors. Bishops, Brook and Usopp. Brook is a magician and Usopp is an archer. Queen, Nami, she is just sitting on a throne with a crown on her head. And King, Luffy, Gear 5. Robin is grabbing Luffy to move him on the chessboard. Chapter starts where the last one ended, where Mars was walking into Vegapunk's Punk Records. And so that's where we're starting. It shows that in this giant tank that Mars is now looking at, it has Vegapunk's massive head inside of it. Vegapunk's head still has hair. I don't know if that's the head itself or if it's brain, but that should be cool to get more information on that. Mars then says, "So this thing is alive even after you are gone? What exactly is death? Where does the consciousness reside? Is this you, Vegapunk?" Mars steps onto the Haishin Din Mushi, but the shell is fake. And Mars discovers that inside there's just a normal Din Mushi. Mars starts to panic because he doesn't know where Vegapunk hid the real one. And that's top tier humor right there. And Vegapunk trolling, putting a cover over the Din Mushi to make it look like it's something else. So Oda is in his troll bag really hard on that one. So I really love that moment. Now we see how people all over the world are waiting to hear Vegapunk's message. In Syrup Village, we see Kaya, Mary, Ninjin, Piemon, and Tomaneji, I think I butchered that, discussing about Vegapunk and his impact on the medicinal world, or medical world. In the Twin Cape Lighthouse, Crocus is listening to Vegapunk's message with Laboon. In Baltimore, the old man mentions that Franky has become a ship now. We see reactions too in Torino Kingdom, Hachinosu, which we only see reactions from random pirates known from the Blackbeard crew, and other islands. I'm so excited that we finally get to see Laboon again. Man, it's been such a long time, and that moment right there is momentous. Is a momentous occasion, so super hyped to see Laboon again. Time is up and Vegapunk starts speaking. Mars communicates with the other Gorosei. He says, "I have no idea what Vegapunk is about to say, but it's highly likely that he intends to get revenge for Clover and Ohara." Cut to Bonnie's group. Sanji arrives in time and kicks Nourishiro in the face. Nourishiro turns to Bokatsu form and bites Sanji. Oimo and Kashi restrain Nourishiro from both sides. Then Bonnie turns into her giant future form and stomps on Nourishiro. Back to Vegapunk's message. Vegapunk explains that he has committed 2 great sins, but he doesn't go into what those 2 sins are in this chapter. And he says, with these 2 sins I have committed, he will end up either being captured or killed. For that reason, he decided to set a broadcast to start when his heart stops beating, because he knew he was going to be dying soon. Cut to the reactions from people all over the world to Vegapunk's death. We see Caesar and Judge in the Germa Kingdom. Caesar is crying, saying he worked so hard to bring Vegapunk down, but now he doesn't get to. Near Sabaody, we can see Duval in his base. He's confused about why Vegapunk is dead when the morning news said he was a Straw Hat hostage. I'm also super excited to see Duval again, because we haven't seen him in the longest time. Even though he's not even a main character, it's still cool to see side characters like this, and knowing that Oda has not forgotten. I kind of want to know how many characters have been introduced in One Piece, and if someone knows the correct number, because that's something that I thought of. I was like, there has to be over like 1,000 characters at least in One Piece, maybe 500, but I feel like there's so many characters that Oda has. It's impressive that he doesn't forget these people. So now, in the World Economy Newspaper's headquarters, we see Morgans, and he is very angry. He says, "This kind of broadcast will be the end of newspaper business." I mean, it's true. I mean, if you're posting lies and stuff, who's going to expect to trust the newspaper if stuff like this comes out? We see all these characters again, a bunch of characters in this chapter, as Vegapunk's message continues. He then says, "Whoever ends up killing me, I don't blame them as being evil. I will not label anyone as good or evil, since I don't understand him enough to do so." Cut to Nami's group. Saturn reaches a cloud where they're at. Robin hears Saturn's voice and becomes frozen in shock because she recognizes that voice as the voice she heard at Ohara, and we see a flashback of that moment. I don't remember a voice showing up on Ohara, so it might be more of a retcon for this to put Saturn into this for Robin, but I mean, it definitely was a good setup for Robin, and maybe I feel like this could have a little bit of a character development with her, and then it might bond the crew a little bit more, so I'm excited to see that as well. Saturn says, "Nico Robin, the woman that Akainu failed to wipe out." Nami then says, "Everyone, protect Robin." Brook cuts off Saturn's leg, Usopp shoots an explosive bullet, and Nami pulls Robin away while she uses Zeus to block Saturn's legs. Then Chopper uses Guard Point to protect all of them. We don't have any Luffy, Zoro, and Jinbe in this chapter, unfortunately. Now, we go back to Mars. He's talking with the other Gorosei again about what they should do now. Mars says, What would happen if I just destroy the power plant?" Saturn says, "Don't do it. We could care less if it ends up wiping out all battleships and soldiers surrounding the island, but..." Topman then says, "It would mean no one would ever be able to create another Mother Flame." The chapter ends with Vegapunk's shocking words, while we have a view of the sea with small Egghead Island in the distance. Vegapunk says, "What I'm about to say may sound absurd. Many will laugh at me, but everyone has the right to know. Let's begin with the conclusion. This world will sink into the sea." In the last panel of the chapter, we see a picture of the seafloor where some mermaids are swimming with fishes and whales. This is the end of the chapter, and we are going on break next week because we have Japanese Golden Week. So One Piece will be on break after this chapter, but this is looking like a crazy chapter.